We have a decision. The Panthers quarterback battle royale has ended. I know that's just the kind of content that you want to hear about. And so we're going to give you what you want. Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield have been duking it out, sparring during training camp, and what appears to be a free-for-all ruckus between the Patriots and Panthers that have been going on the last couple of days. Been fights all over the place. But a decision has been made, and if you have not heard, possibly not, we have learned that the winner of the Carolina Panthers quarterback derby, Baker Mayfield. Oh, my God, Baker Mayfield. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. Baker Mayfield will officially be named the starting quarterback in Carolina over Sam Darnold. All of that content hidden behind a paywall over at The Athletic. And they have let the kitty out of the bag, and that means that Baker Mayfield, late of the Brownies, will be under center when the NFL season begins in early September, and Carolina plays host to the team from Northern Ohio, the mistake by the lake, the Cleveland Browns, in the season opener. It does not appear that Deshaun Watson will be there, but he might be watching somewhere. It's possible. All right, so let us discuss the question. Now that the decision has apparently been made, what are the odds that Baker Mayfield has a career renaissance? He's a renaissance man in Carolina. So I'm going to set the MALLER Sportsbook odds on this at plus 300. Now, if you're not a gambler or you're just bad at math, that implies a 25% chance. I'm being Benny Brightside on this, but 25% is a 250 hitter in baseball. Are you really that confident with a 250 hitter in baseball? So my views on this, you've got Lost and Found, Boy Band, and Exorcism. And we will put all of this together, and we are going to make some grits. Some Carolina grits is what we're going to make. All right, so first of all, Baker Mayfield has already been found guilty of football malpractice for what he did in Cleveland. He was the number 1 overall pick, and there were a few bright spots, but there were a lot of down spots. We have chronicled the many missteps of Mayfield. There's no need to rehash that right now, but his dereliction of duties is why he finds himself right now playing in the boondocks of the NFL. Now, Cleveland was not exactly a glamour destination, but in terms of winning, historically, the Tar Heel State is not a place a football player will go for a resurrection. Now, will Mayfield be the exception to the rule? He will certainly be off the grid, surrounded by what Dennis Eckersley would call a hodgepodge of nothingness. The Panthers are more of a lost and found than a clearinghouse of elite talent. Got Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrence Marshall Jr., who are the top pass catchers. Does that do anything for you? Does that get you a little excited? No. You also have a superstar, Christian McCaffrey. That's the good news. The bad news is he's fragile, and about week 5 or week 6, he'll get hurt. It's a roster filled with discarded items is what it is. Now, that aside, Baker Mayfield also has to figure out how to treat the underlying condition. Right? He has sucked at a time you cannot suck. 56 interceptions in 60 career appearances for Baker Mayfield. The inaccuracy, a big reason why that number is so high. The warts, the imperfections have flared up. You might want to put some cream on that, some Benadryl or something like that, because you're going to have to scratch what happened in Cleveland. Now, I have been hit from time to time via email from, I don't know how people find my email. I guess I give it out for the lame jokes, but people have been sending me messages sporadically since Mayfield went to Carolina, saying that I'm being unfair, that I'm just a loser. That's why I'm doing overnights, because I've taken gratuitous cheap shots at Baker Mayfield. The Baker Mayfield Marching and Chowder Society, I call them the Baker Mayfield Truthers. They blame injuries, right? They say, it's because he's hurt, or it's because of his coach, or this, that, that. So now that he's got a fresh leash on life, Injuries, by the way, not responsible for Odell Beckham deputizing his father to get him the hell away from Cleveland and go win a Super Bowl with the Rams. Now, secondly, why did Baker Mayfield win the starting job? Well, while it is, it was not a guarantee to most people. For us, it was set in stone. And we said this in previous episodes of the show. We talked about this a while back, that it was, to us, it was always a faux competition. As long as Baker Mayfield had a pulse and was not in a hospital gown on a gurney being pushed into surgery, he was going to be named the starting quarterback. So it was always a faux competition. If Carolina's coaching staff were smitten kittens with Sam Darnold, they would have never taken a flyer on Baker Mayfield. I don't care how cheap he was in the discount bin from the Browns. Now, Baker's also benefiting from the boy band theory. He is one of the new kids on the block, and Mayfield represents the H word, hope. You got to have hope. Yeah, he's a gallon of hope. And Matt Rule, who certainly doesn't rule over the NFL, great college coach, stiff in the NFL so far, and he right now is hanging on by his fingernails, which wouldn't be a problem, except he bites his fingernails, so do I. Also, offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo, as we called him when he was the coach of the Giants. He is back in the NFL with Carolina there, trying to resurrect his career. So those guys are in stranger danger zone, meaning that if they don't win, there'll be a stranger that will replace them and coach the Carolina Panthers. So the team in general in Carolina smells like the south end of a northbound mule. There's a stench. P.U. What stinks? That's the Panthers. And Baker Mayfield is the epitome of the shiny object. He's the fresh face, represents change, excitement. And he has yet to miss a wide open receiver in a Panther uniform in a regular season game. There has been no hissy fit in the huddle. There has been no teammate calling him out as an unnamed source. No Carolina Panther player has used his father to try to get rid of having Baker Mayfield as a teammate. His blowhard tendencies have not been on display. Baker has yet to lose a game as a Carolina player. And so he gets the keys to drive the bus. Now, it is a struggle bus, but he is still going to drive the bus. All right, final thought. So what happens to Sam Darnold's career? The better story is in the losing locker room. And the answer is he goes back on the auctioning block. The flea market is open. The Panthers will look to repackage Sam Darnold. And they have Matt Corral there as the third quarterback, a rookie. He's a rookie. And he is more than capable of being the backup. But Darnold, there's a chance he hangs around a while in Carolina waiting for an exorcism, right? He's like, oh, please, I got to get rid of my evil spirits, my demons, my ghosts, all of that have been haunting him. It's hard to imagine that anyone else will be dumb enough to trade for Sam Darnold. Like, Carolina is the idiot in the room, and they're going to now test the greater fool theory. That the greater fool theory states a player is traded from one fool, that would be the Jets in this case, that originally drafted him, to a greater fool, the bigger dum-dum, the Carolina Panthers. But eventually, the value plummets, and then nobody will trade for said player. It's similar to when a Ponzi scheme ends. It goes very well, the Ponzi scheme, as long as you keep getting new people in the Ponzi scheme. But eventually, you don't do that, and then the whole thing comes tumbling down. But Sam Darnold is no longer a promising, up-and-coming quarterback. Still only, I think, 25 years old, but he's established himself in the category over there. He's in the category of jabroni. And here's a guy, 50 games, 49 starts, and he has 52 interceptions and only 54 touchdowns. He's averaged 6.5 yards per attempt. Those are very bad numbers. That's what's known as a belly whopper. A belly whopper in his NFL career. And will anyone else take Sam Darnold and say, no, my team. He'd be great with my team. Yeah.